Hi, we've been using our new Hoover fridge that's called a Dynamic 4x4 apparently for a couple of weeks now, so I thought I'd do a quick review and show you how we've been getting on. So this is the fridge itself. Let me pan up and down. It's a compromise really between a traditional fridge freezer and the much wider American fridge freezers. So it's got what they're calling a 4x4 layout. Instead of being side by side with the fridge and the freezer, we've still got a fridge at the top and two freezer drawers at the bottom, so an up and down layout like you'd expect in a traditional fridge freezer, but it's an extra 10 centimeters wide, I think. So the reason we picked this one is because we were looking for that compromise of trying to get some extra storage space, but without, you know, widening it to the extent of 90 centimeters, which a lot of the American fridge freezers were. That would have just been a bit too big for our kitchen, we thought. So this is the compromise we came up with. And let me show you what we've got. So as you can see from the front, it's a double door. And unlike a lot of the American fridge freezers, it doesn't have a water dispenser or ice dispenser. That's actually fine with us. So it's not something that we would have used, and I didn't want to faff about getting the plumbing, but obviously if a water dispenser is important for you, then this one isn't going to be the one for you. But in all other respects, that basically I think leads to a bit of a smoother looking front as well. We've not got all of those dispensers there, just this little display here. If I just touch it, there we go. You can see it tells you the temperatures for the fridge and the freezer, and it gives you the option for turning it up and down, setting it to holiday settings, all of that sort of thing that you'd expect from a fridge. But anyway, let's have a look inside. So as you can see, as I say, double doors, so you have to open them separately. But when you do, I think we've had a barbecue over the weekend, so you see we're packed full of leftovers. But as you can see, quite a decent sized fridge then. It gives the impression of not being dramatically bigger than you know, a normal fridge freezer, but actually that 10 centimeter extra width does make a real difference because of the amount of stuff you can then get side by side. So in terms of volume, I'm finding, you know, it really is, you know, we're getting much more in there than I would have expected. But it's got the normal array of shelves that you can move in some cases, some fixed, some movable, and then also down at the bottom then you've got salad drawers, as you know we're all quite used to seeing, but also this wider drawer. The pictures on the front of it imply that it's for meat. I guess you can put whatever you like in it there. We tend to use ours for fruit. And it's got two lights rather than on the top, as our old fridge freezer had. Having one on either side is particularly good if you're only opening one door to get something from one side of the fridge. That's quite handy. And you can also hear there the beep if you leave the doors open for more than a minute, I think it is. It has that little beep then to remind you that it's not shut properly, obviously in an attempt to be energy efficient. So standing back a bit, you can see the doors open to the side, but they're set forward, so you don't have to worry about them. Whichever way you'd normally open your fridge, you don't have to worry about them banging into your cupboard units, that sort of thing next door to it. So yeah, pretty much what you see is what you get there. Nice and wide, plenty of door storage and movable shelves and drawers as well. So I'll shut that up. Let's have a look at the fridge here. So the freezer section is these two drawers at the bottom. Rather than doors, you know, like normal, we've got two pull-out drawers instead. So if I grab these, you can see what we've got there. It's actually, I was a bit bemused as to how we'd use them and whether it would really work very well. So I see my cat's trying to have a look as well. Always intrigued by these things. But yeah, so the drawers have actually worked out much better than I thought they would because of the lack of partitions then, like we used to have in our old fridge freezer that had sort of three pull-out drawers like a traditional layout. And the lack of partitions mean you're actually able to use pretty much all of the space within the casing. And it means we're actually getting, again, much more in there than you'd think for just that extra 10 centimeter width. And then this in the top, I should say it shuts by itself, so if you let it go, it will roll back in. Again, stops you leaving it open by accident. But then in the top shelf, we've got this little sort of ice cube tray with ice cubes and stuff in there. So that slides backwards, and then you can get to the full depth of that top drawer as well. So you just slot that back in, and then it slides quite nicely. You can hear it do a nice clunk there when it's shut. So overall, how have we found it then? As I say, the space has been the best thing. That compromise between space, but the additional width has been perfect for us. Well, there's 5 of us, so we've got 3 kids. So we've had no problem fitting everything we wanted, and we have got that extra, probably 20-30% extra space in the fridge than we had in our old fridge freezer. So it's a really big difference actually for not that much extra wall space, if you like. So that's been brilliant. I do like the build quality. Hoover obviously is a brand that sort of finds itself in the middle of the brands. It's not a cheap kind of economy brand, but equally it's nowhere near as expensive as some of those kind of prestige makers. So we're quite happy, going for that somewhere in the middle where you get the kind of good build quality without paying through the nose for it. And I think this one certainly meets those criteria. If I had to moan about anything, I guess the one thing I have noticed, it's a bit of a pedantic thing, but if you can hear that when these doors shut, because this section in the middle, if you can see it here, flicks in and out to maintain a good seal, which obviously is really important. We don't want the fridge getting warm, but that movement in and out to create that seal does make it sort of clunk a bit when you shut the door. So that's something I found a little bit annoying, but I have to say, of all of my problems, that's pretty much the only one. So other than that, we've really liked it. If you're interested in having a fridge that's bigger than your average fridge freezer but doesn't take up a really big space in your kitchen, and secondarily that you don't mind having or not having a water dispenser, which obviously is the one thing this is missing compared to a lot of other models, then I'd say this is definitely one to think about. On a practical level as well, it was very easy to install because of not having the water dispenser, so it's literally just a matter of plugging it in. And it also has little wheels at the bottom. There you go, Cat's watching it again. But the little wheels at the bottom meant it could just roll in, we didn't have to worry about damaging the floor or anything like that, so it was very easy to position it exactly how we wanted it. So I think that's just about my summary there. As I say, we were very happy with it, and I definitely recommend this one actually. So I hope you find whichever fridge it is you're looking for. Thanks then, bye.